Moving on now, for longtime Portlanders, this video can be tough to watch. The beloved Thompson elk statue ablaze in 2020 during the unrest in the Rose City. Ever since it was taken down in July of that year, we've been getting messages like this one. Linda wrote to us last month, "There are so many of us wondering what's up with our beloved elk, hoping you can get to the bottom of it for us." Well, Linda, we have finally got an update for you tonight. The elk is expected back in its historic home along Southwest Main Street sometime next year. That's according to the Portland Parks Foundation, which played a huge role in making all that happen. It's not going to be cheap, though. But before we get into the cost, let's briefly answer the question, how do we get here? Removed in 2020, the bronze elk was stashed away in a secret storage compartment until its future could be decided. And that was not until May of 2022 that the Portland Parks Foundation got a big donation to start working on a feasibility study to bring it back. In that same month last year, Portland City Council faced the question of the elk's future. If you haven't figured it out yet, people really do get pretty emotional about this thing. And as the council was pondering what to do, citizens actually showed up wearing antlers, urging the commissioners to bring the elk back.
It's not only feasible to restore the fountain, but imperative that the city restore it as a clear message of its commitment to revitalizing the downtown and bring a sense of hope and healing to its citizens.
Restoring the historic icon, the beautiful bronze elk and its storied granite fountain base, and having it adorn the original 1900 site has become a metaphor for advancing downtown's recovery after 2 tempestuous years and a pandemic. Beauty is a necessity in our lives, and this monument is uplifting. Full recovery will come one step at a time, and this is a monumental stride in the right direction.
Now, during that same meeting, the council passed a resolution to, quote, fully restore and return the Thompson Elk Fountain to its original condition and location to the extent feasible. So that's where this process has been publicly since then. But this week, the Portland Parks Foundation says that after some collaboration with Commissioners Dan Ryan, Mingus Maps, and City Arts Program Manager Jeff Hawthorne, they've put together a public-private partnership to get the elk back up 18 months faster than it would have happened otherwise. Here's their plan. Portland Parks Foundation commissioned the design and engineering work, including a seismic upgrade, recirculating pump, and graffiti-resistant coating. They're pitching in $160,000 from donors. Then the city will handle construction, setting aside $1.5 million in tax money in the 23-24 budget. Here are some of the renderings from the Park Foundation feasibility study. One of the architectural groups involved in the project made 3D scans of every piece of the statue and base to determine how many pieces can be salvaged and how many they need to basically build again. They say there's still a lot to be determined, but the worst case scenario is that about 18 out of the 50 pieces will need to be refabricated, along with a new slab for the fountain. One interesting thing in the study to note about the original statue, you might not know it was secured by the base with a single bolt, just one bolt. So you can imagine why there were safety concerns in 2020. The study says the new design provides for, quote, more resilient connection. So let's hope so. As for that circulating pump, it's apparently required by City Council in an effort to conserve water. So there's that. But when news about the elk's return was first announced yesterday, at least one viewer named Barb had this to say. I was blown away when I saw on the news that the city of Portland has allocated $1.5 million to restore the elk statue. Was a breakdown provided as to the cost? How could it possibly cost that much? Wow. Great point, Barb. I thought the exact same thing. And you can bet no other news show in Portland is going to break down the cost of this, but we are. Let's dive in. Here's a look at what the expected costs are going to be. Just rehabbing and reinstalling the fountain, according to the Parks Foundation feasibility study, that's nearly $1.2 million in construction and over $100,000 in what they're calling soft costs. Those are things like permits and fees. You got to be kidding me. That totals more than $1.3 million. But let's take it a step further and break down the bulk of that money. The $1.2 million for construction, well, they estimate $120,000 for site improvements. Site development, meaning stonework, will run close to $900,000. $84,000 for the fountain and the water supply. That's a nice fountain. Nearly $25,000 for electrical and $118,000 for the site prep. But that's not all. There are plans to redevelop the area around the statue to make it safer for pedestrians and cyclists. The street improvements come with a price tag of over $640,000. It includes things like asphalt lanes for cars and bikes, paving the area around the Elk, and things like textured pavement bands. So, yeah, they're taking this opportunity to do way more than just put the statue back in there with more than one bolt. Add up all the costs for the statue, the fountain, and the surrounding roads, the grand total $1.9 million, which again is just an estimate. But for those of you who have impatiently waited for the Elk's return, the wait continues, but at least now there's a plan in place to get it done next year. We'd love to hear your thoughts about this. Are you happy the Elk is coming back? Are you worried about the price tag? Maybe a little bit of both? Doesn't matter, just let us know. Email us at thestory@kgw.com or call and leave a voicemail, 503-226-5090.